Over the last 18 months, we've seen a large uptick in fraud investigations around bribery, corruption, fraud, related party transactions. This has meant that we've been very busy from a forensic accounting and forensic technology perspective. There's several key things that have actually driven that activity in our experience. Firstly, it's around a lot of transactions happened during the COVID period, and now private equity and other investors are looking at some of those transactions, understanding if they've got good value for money, if there's any potential routes to recovery, whether it's through an investigation or other means. And the other second major thing that we've seen is auditors. Auditors are being much more aggressive in terms of saying to their corporate clients that they need to undertake investigations, independent investigations into certain issues. So what we've been seeing over the last 18 months, couple of years, is that auditors have been saying to boards, you need someone independent to come in and look at these issues. And maybe the corporates have looked at some of these issues and investigated themselves, but the auditors themselves want to get comfort from an independent firm coming in. They want an investigation to be done properly, independently. So that's been a very big driver. There's also, with those types of investigations, there's multiple stakeholders. So often, for example, if they're regulated, there's the regulators, there's the non-executive directors, there's the board themselves. There's lots of lenders, banks, etc. There's lots of different interested parties who are interested in the results of those investigations. Quite often we find that those investigations need to be done quickly and efficiently. But quickly because, for example, 3 of the cases that we did last year were for listed businesses. So WANdisco, now called Serata, Braemar, and Inland Homes, all listed businesses who had their shares suspended. And obviously there was an imperative for those companies to then want their shares to be back on the market and trading. There's lots of interested parties in the sense of investors in the stock. Banks have lent money. All of those people are quite interested and have a stake in terms of what's actually happening in terms of the investigation. And what we found is with the auditors, they've been saying you have to have this investigation because it's critical in terms of them signing off the audit. Very much see this trend's going to continue. I think going back to the point with the auditors is that over the last 10 or 15 years, they've been reprimanded and they've been fined for lack of audit procedures and mistakes and things that they've missed during the audit. I think it's a good thing that auditors are now being more aggressive, if you like, in terms of and risk averse to a certain extent, because they're asking someone independent to do the investigation. So I see that trend continuing. The other trend I see is that it's very data intensive. So on those investigations that I just mentioned, is our forensic technology team play a key part in terms of obtaining the data in order to be able to kind of make that data manageable and searchable, so that we can then understand the nature of that data and the key documents within that data. So, and in terms of data, the interesting thing that we've seen over the last 18 months, it's not just email data, it's phone data and also short message data. But this is where we see that the world of investigation is going. It's now a point where short message data such as Slack and Teams messages and WhatsApp, there's more data of that type than there is emails. So we very much see it as a multidisciplinary approach between forensic accounting and forensic technology.